in this next hot spot of the blue light that's coming up through the earth, when the blue light beings came in, all they could say was, now this is a deep, deep, deep connection to blue. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about Zambia. So Zambia in the African continent is it's a landlocked territory, country, and I've not really heard of Zambia that much. I used to live in South Africa. I was really looking around South Africa to see if there was any blue coming through there, but it's kind of getting close. So when I'm looking at the area of Zambia, there were Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe. So those are the countries that are around it, and there is a deep, deep, deep connection. So what I've been talking about with the blue light, if you are new to the videos and you've never heard of this before, you will definitely want to go back and listen to the history of the blue light and where the blue light's coming through different countries in the world. But this one, the last video I made had to do with Hopi land. There was a strong and Mason number 2 connection to the waters, and there is a direct connection between the sacredness of Hopi Mesa number 2 and all the waters in the world, which I talked about in that video. But the moment I was talking to the blue beings of light and they brought in the essence, the energy of Zambia, the first thing that hit me was mermaids. It was just like this entire country is almost ruled by the mystical, magical beings of the mermaids. But often we think of mermaids as these, beautiful singing songs to sailors, coming onto the earth, during the day and can walk on 2 legs, but at night might need to go back into the water. So we know a little bit about mermaids, but here in Zambia, it's almost like a core, pure connection to mermaids. So I'm going to tell you as much as I can of what I'm seeing clairvoyantly as I do in all of these videos. I invite you to tune in to make your own connection, do your own deep dive to learn more about this. So in Zambia, all I could get was water, like lots of water. So I found it, when I was looking at the map, quite interesting because it's so landlocked. It's not on the East Coast, it's not on the West Coast. It's in the kind of the southern narrowing part of the African continent. So what it's famous for is Victoria Falls. So if you go and look at the image of Victoria Falls, it is breathtaking, the power of the water that comes through this area. And the Victoria Falls are some of the largest, one of the largest falls, waterfalls in the entire world. And one of the descriptors that I was reading about is talking about how it is twice as tall as Niagara Falls that we have here in United States and in Canada, right at the border. So it is enormous. And so I knew there must be some history having to do with mermaids. I could feel it as if I can feel my hands and feel my face. It was like so strong. So let me take a look at some of my notes here. So there are a lot of water gods. There are a lot of water spirits. There's water dragons. There's water elementals. And the indigenous people of this area in Zambia are very intimately connected to these water spirits. And in some ways, kind of believing that the water spirit or the water here is like God. It's who they pray to for their blessings when things are not going quite right. So let me talk about some of the beings that I wouldn't say that they worship, will say they have a high respect for. And because of the intensity that I can feel of this kind of mermaid, mer people, merman, dragon, water dragon energy, I know that as you're listening and you're tuning into this video, I bet that you can feel it too. So I'm going to just intend that you can join me in this watery world that is very significant in the country of Zambia. I apologize. I live near a trauma hospital, so sometimes there'll be ambulances that go by. Okay, so it's spelled, so you can get a piece of paper and you spell it so that you can go look it up and do that deep dive yourself. So it's Nyami Nyami. So it's spelled Nyami, and then they repeat that word again, Nyami. Nyami Nyami is the Zambesi snake spirit. So Zambezi is Zambezi. Zambezi is the famous river in Zimbabwe. So this famous snake spirit has been described of as a water dragon, an enormous water dragon. And many, many people travel there as tourists from all over the world to see if they can really connect with the water dragon there. So it's said to have a head of a fish and a body of a snake. And it is supposed to be enormously large. And I can feel it. It is enormously large. So it's in the Zambesi River. The river dragon is the great protector of the people there, especially the indigenous people. When things go wrong, the indigenous people will go to the Zambesi River and they will talk to Nyami Nyami and ask for blessings to bring things back into balance and to bring things back into harmony. Now, if this is really coming up a lot during our evolutionary expansiveness and this great awakening of consciousness. But when I talked, you can watch that video on in Eastern Russia about Polaris and the Polarian star beings that are coming in are all about balance and harmony. Now, Nyami Nyami is also helps bring balance and harmony, but it brings balance and harmony in a no-nonsense way. It's like, back up, hold up. Who said you could bring this corruption to our area? I'm not going to allow it, and you're going to live to regret it, kind of thing. So it's that type of energy. So for you, those of you in humanity, when we're talking as a nurse, I'm talking about the human energy field. It's a really no-nonsense, strong boundary setting. Wow. Something's really happening. I don't know if you heard that siren, but it was extra loud. So I should cut that out, but I feel like it's significant, so I'm going to leave it in. All right, so when things are going wrong, that's who you call upon, is this dragon energy that's like, I'll take care of business. You might not like it, but we're going to bring things back into balance and harmony. So we can all use a little bit of that kind of boundary strength, can't we? So as we further go into the folklore stories, which they still highly honor, it's part of their traditions. They do ceremonies with the river gods. So then Kitapo, so it's Kitapo, is the river mermaid. So I thought, all right, we found the mermaid. I knew there was a mermaid. I found the mermaid. And the mermaid just happens to be the wife of Nyami Nyami. So the water dragon and the water mermaid are husband and wife. But guess what happened? What happened was the British came in. I think the French did too. They wanted to harness the power of the river so that they could bring electricity everywhere. And they went to the indigenous people and they said, we want to harness the river, which they thought that was hysterical based on history. They thought that's not possible. There's no way you're going to be able to manage Nyami Nyami. There's no way you're going to be able to manage this enormous mermaid goddess of Kitapo. And so they really didn't believe that the colonists could come in and make that happen. So there's a lot of history there. I mean, it was just pages. It was written up in the New York Times. I found a little article there. But often I like to just feel into the energy. So the blue, it's almost, so I'm going to go back to the husband and wife, god and goddesses. But I just want to talk about when the blue beings of light are asking me to make this video about an enormously important area on our earth. It's like this crack that goes deep, deep, deep in the earth, and it's almost like it comes out the other side. It's definitely connecting to the waters. It's not as kind of this gentle, kind, peaceful flow. It's like, don't mess with me kind of waters. It's like really strong, solid boundaries. Don't cross this line. And so there's this crack that goes through, but when I went further, it would be almost like a Grand Canyon sort of crack, but at the bottom of it is an enormous portal that travels right out to the cosmos. So when I was meditating on November 18th with the blue beings of light and the surge going through the second mesa, what was interesting is I saw the portal going out into the galaxy, but there were whales, there were dolphins, there were mermaids that were passing through this portal out into the cosmos. It was really fantastical. I couldn't believe what I was witnessing, and I just thought, wow, you've got a really great imagination. So, so there's this enormous portal there of great significance. So it really helps connect the powerful aspects, the sacred aspects of our earth there in Zambia, but also connects us with the cosmos and connects with the earth and connects with the waters. All right, so let me go back now and talk about this incredible mermaid goddess that comes through in this area. So it's Kitapo, the river mermaid. And what it said was she's about as fierce as Nyami Nyami, the river dragon. Because it is said, and the indigenous people highly respect this, that if you are not pure of heart, if you do not have a pure heart and you go swimming in this river, that Kitapo, the river mermaid, will drag you down to the bottom until you drown. So it's like you're going to be sunk to the bottom of the river. But those with the purity of heart, those are uplifted and saved. So it says Kitapo will drown the ones that aren't pure of heart and save the ones who are pure of heart. So this is definitely a part of their ancient history of the indigenous peoples there, and they're honoring and having high levels of respect for this water. So when I asked the blue beings of light, they are very active in that area. There is a lot that's happening around the dam that's there. What's the name of the dam? Wow, I don't think that I wrote it down. Oh, I did. It's Kariba, the Kariba Dam. And when that dam was built, it said it separated the husband from the wife. So that dam colonialism, built this dam to harness the power, but did not realize, as the indigenous people realized, that it was separating the husband from the wife. Well, what the indigenous people said when they were like, it's not going to hold up. Like, there's no way you can separate those two. There's no way you can harness the power of the sacred river. There's no way that you can keep that husband and wife apart. And now what's happening is the dam is starting to crumble under the weight of this powerful river. And so what they're scrambling to do right now, this is why it's written up in the New York Times, is that there's, as with anything downriver, if that dam breaks, everything could flood and it could really harm, a lot of people. And they said that they were trying to move like 6,000 animals out of the way from their safari parks and things like that. But those are the outcomes of the the rains and of nature and of Mother Nature kind of rising up and saying, ultimately, we have the final say. So that's happening, and you're going to be really fascinated to read that. But how is this area in Zambia, how is that impacting your human energy field? Well, it's almost like this Morse code. So remember I said in the second mesa, it's sending out this gentle through the waters, talking to the waters. I could hear a lot of singing to the waters. In Zambia, they also talk to the waters. They sing to the waters. They have ceremony to the waters there. If I were to say the waters, like with the Hopi, would be more of the feminine aspect of the waters, but in the Zambia, it would be more of the masculine of the waters. But if you think about the waters in Zambia, it's like trying to separate the male energy from the female energy. And I just did a recent talk about the masculine divine and how that's starting to rise to the surface to help create that marriage between the feminine divine and the masculine divine. And it's like, so in Zambia, it's like, nope, you're not going to keep the male and female separate anymore. So this frequency that's going out, it is a balancing, harmonizing frequency. It's a little stronger. And as it comes through, it's not going to come through completely to humanity until we are ready for that stronger surge within you of having a stronger surge of your own male and female, maternal, paternal sides of balancing your own energy field. So we are going to get stronger. When I think about that warrior type, it was like, you're asking me to do what? You're kidding, right? Yeah, not in your lifetime. And so it's that kind of energy. So what Spirit is telling me around 2026, 2027 is as we are building up in the strength of our own aura is when we will really be ready for those stronger energies to come in. So it's a really highly active area. You would have a lot of fun meditating with the water dragon and the river water dragon and the river mermaid to just feel the essence and the energies of it. I have not tried to communicate with those two spiritual beings, water beings, but you, on the other hand, are very welcome to reach out, send a little telepathic message, open up to the purity of your own heart and see what information you get. So go ahead and put that in the comments section. And yeah, if you have connections with mermaids or dragons and you have mermaid or dragon stories, it would be great to hear those stories as well, because I know that people are going to be reading the comments and they're going to be really loving the mystical, magical aspects of our human nature to know that it's coming back to the surface. So You can't trap the river. You can't trap the dragon. You can't trap the mermaids, as the indigenous people of Zambia say. So, yeah, I will continue as the blue beings of light really point out different areas of the world that you may want to know a little bit more about. So hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, go ahead and click the subscribe if you are not a part of my YouTube channel. And I look forward to having you tune in next time. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.